Depending on where you have purchased my digital product, you're going to receive a PDF with a link that allows you to open up this template page right here. Okay, so this is where a lot of people can get confused because they think, oh my gosh, why isn't it letting me like edit? I can't do this. It's not letting me edit. It's okay. You are almost there. So once you have opened up this page, the only thing you have to do here is click use template. I highly recommend that you're already logged into Canva because it'll make it a lot easier for it to sync with your Canva account. Okay, so if you have not signed up for Canva yet, I recommend signing up for Canva, free or pro, doesn't matter. And then you're just going to go ahead and click the link provided, which is going to open up this page, and all you're going to have to do is click the use template purple button. Now, if I select this, what's going to happen is it's now going to add a copy of my lash price list to my account. And now I own a version of this. So I can edit it any way I want. Nobody else has access to it. Nobody's going to be able to edit it, not even the owner, which is me, right? And it's yours now, okay, in your account. And if you ever want to go back to it, all you have to do is click home. And in your home tab, you'll see all your previous projects. And then you can choose to organize those projects or whatever you'd like to do with them. But that being said, this is exactly how you're going to get access to your editable files. Okay, let's go over sizing. And we're going to talk about resizing this if you don't want it to be a 5x7. And we're going to go over this as a Canva Pro user and somebody who does not have Canva Pro, so just a Canva regular free user. So as a Canva Pro user, this is so easy. All you're going to do is you're going to go right up here. You're going to click resize, and you're basically going to resize the document and the size that you'd like. So let's say we're choosing 8x10. We want to enlarge this from a 5x7 to an 8x10. Let's say we're printing it out for flyers to pass out or, to give away in our salon. You would just simply change this to 8x10, and then you would click copy and resize. You can click resize directly, but I prefer to do copy and resize because it's nice to have like the different sizes in your Canva account just for like future reference. Okay, so now let's go over how to do this if you are a Canva free user. So if you're a Canva free user, there's an additional step you're going to have to take. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up here to file and you're going to click create a new design. You can go ahead and select the size if you see it here, or you can go to custom size. And as you can see here, I've already have it set at 8x10. And so let's say, like I said, we take that scenario and we make an 8x10 design. All right, so now we have our nice 8x10 document. So what we're going to do now is we're going to select, so press down with our mouse, and we are going to hover over the entire document. And at this point, we're just going to click Command C or Control C for copy. You can also go up to your browser and you can even click copy. And then we're going to go over to our new document and we're going to say Command V or Control V. So at that point, you're going to stretch the document over the canvas and center it, because now we're going to manipulate it a little bit. Okay, so at this point now you are going to be stretching shapes to fit the new document. And that is it. Now we have a nice 8x10 size. Let's say it's a double-sided document like this one. It's just going to be the same thing. We're going to select Command C. We're going to do a new page. Command V or Control V. And that is it. You're just going to adjust it to your liking. Okay, now let's go over adjusting background colors or specific colors in your template. So a couple things, all right? You have a background layer in your Canva template, and then you have objects on top of that background layer. So let's say I decided I wanted this all to just be one background and I didn't want to edit objects. I could actually select these objects and delete them, which you don't really want to do in our case because of our theme, but it's possible for you to edit your background itself. So all you have to do is select that background, and then this is actually going to allow you to change that background to whatever you want. Okay, you can change it to any colors you like. There's even gradients to add in and things like that. Okay, now in the case that you don't want to edit the background like that, and you actually just want to edit the objects as is, you're just going to select the object that you need. It's so nice to just be able to just drag and drop. So you're going to select the object that you need, and it's the same thing again. We can grab those same gradients, same colors, whichever colors we'd like to use. Same goes here. Any objects I'd like to change, I can change them here. You can even select change all, and it will take all the colors to save you a lot of time, which you want to be careful with because sometimes, there's colors that match throughout the template, but you can click change all and it'll actually just go through and change all those colors to make your editable, experience a lot easier. Okay, so that's it. And let's say that you wanted to actually add in, let's say that your brand color is hologram and you're like, well, the gradients don't exactly match the hologram color I have. I need to find a better color. Well, that is as simple as just like the images that we'll go over. You can actually, you can go to elements and you can type in hologram. And we can go to hologram photos. Let's say that this is more of my hologram, okay? You can actually drag that and adjust it to become your new color, okay? We can go ahead and we can adjust that positioning so that it's behind everything that we need it to be behind. See? Now we can actually copy. So I'm going to Command C, Command V. And I want it to be over this one as well, since that's the color I'm replacing. I'm actually going to pull this down. And then I'm going to change that positioning again. And there's my hologram, okay? Here's another thing you can do. Let's say that we change this color to white, okay, because I feel like this is a little strong and I want to pull my hologram back. I can adjust the transparency and make it more of like an overlay hologram. See that? I'm going to select that space there. I'm going to change that to white. I'm going to stretch the sky back over it. And I'm going to adjust that transparency. So it's just really more of an overlay. Now we've got a nice, holographic overlay. And yeah, looks good to me. If you want to save your changes so you're getting the same guy, we can actually copy that. Let's change this one to white since we're using it with the overlay. We're going to Command V and paste that. And now we're going to stretch it over this area, and then we can position it backward. See? And now we've got that nice hologram that matches over on this side. So since we're doing hologram, maybe our other color is purple. So I can actually see change all. I can select purple, and now all the colors that were that color are going to match purple. I recommend this for templates like this because typically, you know, with my designs, I like to think that my clients are going to be needing me to match things properly. So it's a lot easier to just click the change all. And now we've got this hologram, you know, style. We can even make this, see, this is like more of like a light pink. We can maybe make a really light purple. See? And then what we'll do is we'll click change all again, and now it's going to move it. And now we've got this purple theme here. And all we did was just select a few different things to adjust our colors. Okay, but it's as easy as that with changing templates, adding in patterns, things like that. Okay, let's start with learning how to add your own custom images to your designs. So if you've purchased from one of my shops, you may have received a template similar to this. This is one of my postcard templates. This is actually semi-pro images and also free images. So these are inputted here really to give you images to start with if you don't have your own images. But these ones right here are really meant to be replaced by your images since this is your menu, right? For instance. So of course, if you don't have Canva Pro, you're going to see these having watermarks over them. That's okay. I'm going to show you how to replace them today. So getting into pictures in Canva a little bit. It's a little bit of a learning curve, okay? So really quickly, I want to show you what this looks like without the images. So if you actually select an image and you right click, you can detach this image and you can see the full image that I added here, which is a free image. And you can see basically the image that contains, it's going to have this cloud, it's going to have this grass. Anytime you see that, that is a frame. A frame allows you to snap in pictures of your own, and it allows you to kind of, you know, fit them in correctly into the template. So if we drag this image back in there, we can actually drag it in there. Now, when I dragged it in there though, it needs to be adjusted, right? So we're going to just double click that and we're going to drag that down until we like it. And we're going to be good to go. The same thing goes with these guys here. Okay, so as you can see, this is a girl that I actually stretched over this circular image. She's detached now. I'm going to drag her over and we're going to double click and resize to my liking because I really just want to show here, you know, the use of of this spoolie on her eyebrows. So once that's done, let's go ahead and I'm actually going to, there we go. Okay, so that is basically what you're doing here with these templates. Now, let's say that you have your own images that you want to replace with these, right? Which I do highly recommend, especially if you're showcasing your own services. You can go ahead and just click upload. Upload your file, your JPEG, your PNG file, and you can actually take that file. Let's say that this is the girl's eye I'm using. I'm going to take her and I'm going to drag her over here. And it just pops right in there for you, right? So now if we double click on this, we can actually stretch her. So we can focus in on the eye since we're selling lash extensions, okay? As you can see, boom, done, right? So you don't have to get all crazy with, you know, making sure you're getting the right close-ups for your images because you can just stretch them right over the frame. Okay, so it is as simple as that for editing images on my templates. Okay, now let's talk about how to edit the wording on your template. So what's really great about Canva is it's as simple as selecting a area and editing the text. So this is where you can add in your company name. So let's say your name isn't Lash Studio, it's, Lash World, okay? And you have a different tag name, you can go ahead and edit that there. Now, this is going to allow you to do this within all the different types here. Now, I've obviously given you a lot of dummy text, I typically do, but you definitely probably need to adjust pricing and maybe even details as well if you have different details for your services, or whatever wording you are editing on your template. But however, let's say that you actually have brand fonts that you want to use, okay, that you've uploaded to Canva or are in Canva already. So let's say that Lash World actually needs to be Missapia Bold, okay, which is something that I have uploaded myself. So all I'm going to do is make sure that the text is selected, just like I did there. I'm going to go over here to the font area, and I'm going to find Missapia Bold, and I'm just going to change that. Now, obviously, it's not perfect, right? So now we need to adjust it. Don't get frustrated here. The first thing that I would do here is I would actually select this text and I would spread this text thing out. The next thing that I would do is I would make sure that this alignment is centered, because it's going to help me with making sure that I am always centered. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to resize this. There's two ways to resize. You can either resize right here, or you can kind of manually resize it, or you can go up here to the sizing and adjust it that way as well. So let's say that this is my logo font, but my logo doesn't look like this. Let's say that it doesn't actually have this spacing here. What we're going to do is we're actually going to go here to spacing, and we're going to pull that spacing back, okay, to the spacing that matches what I want it to be. Now, obviously, I still want this to be a little bigger, so we're going to just stretch that out a little bit. And now we've got my logo, and we can even spread this out as well. And if you're having trouble with text boxes, always zoom in. It makes things a lot easier. So we're going to center that. We're going to go back to spacing, and let's go ahead and space that out so it looks a little bit better underneath our logo, okay? So now obviously I've got my logo, I've got my tagline, that's all centered there. And let's say I want to also, add in some outlines. Let's say that my typical logo has a white outline. So I'm going to select outline in the effects section. White is what matches it. I can even adjust that thickness to my liking. See that? So I can even do that there. And now I've got my logo. Now let's say that I also want to adjust this one here to another brand font. Well, we can do that as well. And we probably are going to want to just space that out a little bit, because it is a tall font, so we still want it to be attractive, and so on and so forth. So it's that easy to adjust fonts, add in effects. A lot of people like to use the neon, or I even see the shadow a lot. So you decide. You can even do a hollow, where it's literally the hollow version of your logo. So have some fun with that. So let's say really quickly that you want to curve your text. This is great if, again, you're trying to make a cool header, or you're trying to design a logo look. So what you're going to do is you're going to select your text box. You're going to select effects. It's very simple. And down here in the shape area, you're going to select curve. Okay. Now, when it comes to curve, you can edit how that curve looks, how wide it is. And another tip for making a great curve is you can actually go over here to spacing, and you can space it out so it looks, the way that you want it to. Let's do that also down here so you can kind of see what I would do. If we select effects, curve, and now let's make that a lot looser, and let's adjust that spacing. As you can see, the more spaced out it looks, it tends to look a little bit better spaced out. That's just my opinion. And the smaller you make it, you'll have to adjust that curve depending on how you want it to look. But yeah, curved text is as simple as that. Okay, now let's talk about actually getting your file downloaded for digital or print. Okay, so that being said, this specific design I actually sized as a 5x7 just in case you want to use this for social media, or you also want to use it for handing out, right? Because as you can see, it's double-sided. This would be perfect to hand out or give away, to clients or potential clients. So that being said, let's say that you have edited this to your liking and now it is time to download it, but you want to also post it on, let's say, your Facebook profile, okay? So that being said, we're going to click share. Let's talk about this really quickly. We're going to click share. We're going to click download, okay? Let's talk about these file types. The file types that you want to use for your social media or something digital are going to either be JPEG or PNG, okay? So for me personally, I always go the PNG route. It just tends to look better. Websites like Instagram and Facebook, which are owned by the same people, compress your images anyway. So what I have found is if you go JPEG, it does tend to look a little bit more grainier than if you go PNG. It's my opinion to go PNG. I'm sure you'd be fine with JPEG as well. Okay, now let's talk about if you're going to go to a print shop, you're going to upload it to Kinko's, you're going to print it out yourself at home. All right. In that case, what you need to use the PDF print, okay? Now, let's say that you also want to use this to email out in an email blast. For your clients themselves, I personally prefer to actually send them out something that they can print themselves, which is why I would actually go with PDF standard. PDF standard tends to be a little bit more compressed, so it's going to end up being a smaller sized file than a PDF print. One thing I want to note as well, if you do select PDF standard, and let's say you want to upload this for your email blast. If you select flatten PDF, this is going to make sure that any kind of like font issues or anything that you have, all of that is going to be flattened out so that the person's Adobe Acrobat or whatever doesn't mess those things up, or if they try and upload it into, Adobe Illustrator or something to try and edit it themselves, they're not going to be able to do that. So that's something to keep in note as well. But these are really the file types that I stay within when it comes to, those typical reasonings for wanting a template like this for your business, okay?